Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will. I'm here to give my thoughts on the Star Wars Clone Wars series finale. Star Wars The Clone Wars made its triumphant return to our screens through Disney Plus for its 7th and final season to give us the ending that we all were hoping to get. To be clear, I have not seen every episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars. I'm kind of here and there when it comes to what seasons I've seen, but I felt it was very important to watch this 4-part finale. The final 4 episodes were kind of structured almost like a 2-hour movie, and they run very much in conjunction with the events of Revenge of the Sith. Really nice thing about the finale, which first off, I honestly loved. I thought this was one of the best series finales for a television show I've seen in a long time. It was structured so well, it blended perfectly with Revenge of the Sith. It was heartbreaking, yet it gave such a satisfying conclusion where a lot of these characters were going to end up. This is not anything new, and I will preface this before I get too in-depth with this discussion to say I will be talking about spoilers from the finale as well as spoilers for some Star Wars movies. So if you are not abreast on a lot of Star Wars lore, or you just don't care, there you go. The first of the 4-part finale takes place when Ahsoka Tano, who left the Jedi Order at the end of Season 5, has returned during the course of the Season 7 and finally reunites with Anakin and Obi-Wan, requesting help for herself as well as a small pocket resistance of Mandalorians trying to free Mandalore from Darth Maul, who has again returned and been a thorn in everyone's side. Unfortunately, they can't assist because they have to go rescue the Chancellor, which ties it directly into the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. So, since they can't assist, they allow Commander Rex to accompany Ahsoka and the Mandalorians back to Mandalore in order to try to free it from Maul's control. So, by the time Maul is defeated and Ahsoka, Rex, the 501st Legion, as well as Maul are being transported back to Coruscant, the events of Order 66 take place, and we get a heartbreaking battle of survival for Ahsoka as well as Maul. And one of the really cool things about it is that we don't have to see the events take place through the eyes of the major players like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, the Jedi Council. We've seen that before through Revenge of the Sith. This gives us a better context of the ramifications of Order 66 and how tragic it really was through the eyes of Ahsoka and Rex. Ahsoka and Rex, who have been compadres and who have been allies and partners and friends over the course of the entire Clone Wars series, it gives more weight to how devastating this was compared to the movie where we see Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship end due to Anakin's fall to the dark side. However, you don't feel it as much as I think you feel it thanks to Clone Wars. And maybe that has to do with the fact that you had so many episodes with these characters more than just a 2.5-hour movie. One of the big things that I really like about Clone Wars, and like I said, I'm not a huge watcher of every episode, but I really like Ahsoka's character. She's not blindly devoted to the Jedi Order. She never was. She had the rebellious, free-thinking side of Anakin without the weird childhood trauma. She was a capable fighter. She was very in tune with the Force, and she could see a lot of what was wrong with the Order and wrong with the Jedi and Sith altogether, to the point where she leaves the Order. But she's very strong with the Force, and you see that throughout this entire finale. She's able to hold back Maul's escape, but she eventually lets him go because she has to try to save Rex. The philosophy that she has about the war, considering the fact that that's all she's known since she's been a Padawan. She's only known this war. And we get that really nice scene between her and Rex after they captured Maul before Order 66 takes place. She feels conflicted about the war. She's like, the Jedi are not meant to be soldiers. All she's known is fighting. She's very kind of upset with the war and how everything played out with her relationship with the Order and the whole 9 yards. Whereas with Rex, understandably, he's also conflicted, but for different reasons. He's conflicted with the fact that other people hate the war, but without the war, the clones would have never existed. It's that interesting relationship between the two of them where he's grateful for the war because it gave him life and gave life to his brothers, and also help with his friendship with Ahsoka. It makes what happens next so much more heartbreaking. We knew it was coming. The whole thing with Clone Wars is that we know at the end of the Clone Wars, Anakin falls to the dark side, the Jedi Order is destroyed, the Empire rises. So we know that these relationships are going to fall apart. It doesn't make it any easier to watch. What ends up happening after their conversation is that Ahsoka and Maul can feel through the Force what happens when Anakin finally turns. Now, it's only bits and pieces because they don't know what's really happening. Maul knows something is finally happening. Ahsoka can feel Anakin, something bad happened, but doesn't know what, which informs her character later on when she reappears in Rebels, where she doesn't find out that Anakin is Darth Vader until I forget which episode it was, but it was like a Vision episode where she finally confirms that Anakin is Darth Vader. She knows something's wrong. She runs to Rex, and at that point, Order 66 has been given, and Rex struggles for a minute before he finally attacks her. It's not the clone's fault. It's due to Order 66. And the series really reconstitutes Order 66 from the eyes of the clones. It wasn't something that they were planning. We knew it was something within their programming that triggered them, but I think people always thought it was brainwashing, like they were just mindless drones attacking, but it actually wasn't. They were still conscious. They still had all their memories. It's just that one idea that the Jedi performed an act of treason that caused them to turn against the Republic. That's what really caused Order 66 was that the Jedi became treasonous, and it was their job to execute them. They still remembered everything. They remembered their relationships with the Jedi that they served under. And I think this really informs the difference between other Jedi and their relationship with their clones compared to Ahsoka's relationship with Rex, because Rex tried to fight it initially. I think it was something that he couldn't believe that Ahsoka would be treasonous. The two ideologies from his memory compared to what Order 66 is telling him gave that minute window for Rex to relay information about Fives, to seek out Fives, before Order 66 took complete control. This would explain why other Jedi were so immediately caught off and killed compared to Ahsoka, who's given a moment or two respond. And that's why I think Ahsoka survived compared to so many other Jedi. Which leads us to Ahsoka discovering that the inhibitor chips that were inside the clones is what's causing them to all of a sudden turn on the Jedi. It's so interesting to see it from this perspective because it really gives more weight to those events. Whereas when I watch Revenge of the Sith, and this might just be due to the fact of the character of Anakin as he was portrayed during the movie compared to what you get during the series, I think the series version of Anakin is much more fleshed out. You kind of feel more for him. You don't feel like his turn was just out of the blue. Whereas in the movie, it's very kind of thrown together. It makes it not feel as it was earned in terms of his turn to the dark side. He felt very manipulated. And something else that I felt the finale does really well, besides just the tone of the finale is very dour and dark and sad. Like when they defeat Maul, there's no fanfare. There's nothing that would make you think they won, because it's just a backdrop to what's about to happen. I think the sound design was done flawlessly for this finale, giving the tone of that it's a victory, but it's not. Something worse is about to happen, and as a viewer, you're just sitting there just waiting for it, and you can see the slow changes, the motif of the ship and how the crew is dressing. You can tell what's about to happen. Besides the tone and the sound design that was given, the finale really illustrates another heartbreaking fact. Besides the fact of just the relationships being tested or broken between the clones and the Jedi and the fall of the Republic, you really see in key moments during this finale, there were so many missed opportunities to not only prevent Order 66, to prevent Anakin's descent to the dark side, to stop Sidious, because there were moments where characters just needed to stop and talk to Anakin to realize something is not right. There was a moment when Maul and Ahsoka are having their final battle on Mandalore where Maul admits He was expecting Kenobi and Skywalker because he wanted to kill Skywalker. He knew that Skywalker was being groomed to be Sidious's apprentice. And he tells her, but because of her belief in Anakin, she doesn't believe it. When she has an opportunity to tell the council, due to another missed opportunity where Anakin just left the room before Ahsoka got there, where she could have asked him, she could have talked to Anakin for a minute. She wanted to tell the council, but again, the council showed arrogance in that the fact that she wasn't a Jedi, that she left the order. And I think that presented itself to Ahsoka like, well, I'll just wait to talk to Anakin then. But she never gets a chance. And even Obi-Wan asked Ahsoka to talk to Anakin, but Obi-Wan should have talked to Anakin. Why does Ahsoka have to be the one to talk to her? There were so many opportunities that I think this could have been prevented, that the show does a great job at illustrating that the fact that, like, yes, Luke was right in The Last Jedi, talking about the hubris of the Jedi is what directly led to Sidious's rise to power. It totally makes sense. And that's just another thing about the series finale that I think worked so well. It just reconstituted a lot of the information we knew from a different point of view.
A certain point of view?
I know it's not the line is a certain point of view, but you get what I'm saying. Everything leads to the fact that once Ahsoka and Rex escape the crashing ship, and Maul has already escaped, which sets up his future, we see that Ahsoka and Rex have buried all of the dead clones. Ahsoka says earlier to Rex that she does not wish to kill any of the clones, even though the clones are trying to kill her. It's not their fault. And that shows that not only Anakin was a victim of Sidious and Order 66, but the clones were as well. The clones were forced to turn against the people that they had spent years alongside fighting, people that they had befriended. And if it wasn't for Ahsoka saving Rex, Rex would have been along with that journey as well. Rex was also gripped with pain and loss because he has to fight his brothers, that he's willing to kill his own brothers to save Ahsoka. But Ahsoka is not willing to kill them. So she cleverly finds a way for them both to escape. Unfortunately, the clones still die due to the fact that the Star Destroyer was crashing, showing that Ahsoka felt so differently about the clones than probably a lot of other Jedi felt. She took the time with Rex to bury every single one of them, which is a beautiful sentiment of her character, and reaffirmed that she was probably the purest Jedi of that age, which some people may agree or disagree, but that's your complete right too. I think Ahsoka is a fantastic character. I will probably go back and watch some other episodes of Clone Wars. I definitely want to watch Rebels because I know when she comes back in Rebels, I've seen a couple of the episodes when she comes back, and it's really interesting to see where she was at this point now to where she is during Rebels. And I know she's supposed to be making an appearance in Mandalorian Season 2, which I'm even more excited for, because that's going to be live action. It all ends when she leaves her saber there because she has to fake her death. She knows now what's going on. The Republic is done. This new whatever is rising. She doesn't necessarily know it's the Empire, but she knows that she's a marked individual. So she has to leave any remnants of her being a Jedi behind, so she leaves her lightsaber. And then we fast forward to this really cool ending scene where obviously time has passed because now everything's covered with snow, the wreckage is only peeking out in certain spots, and we finally get to see Darth Vader. We see that Anakin, this must be months after his battle with Obi-Wan on Mustafar, he was tasked with hunting down Jedi that escaped Order 66, so he was probably there looking for Ahsoka, and he found her saber. It's left open to interpretation if he knows that she is truly dead, because we see an owl floating above in the sky, which goes into a lot of lore that I'm not 100% sure on. We don't get any sort of context if he understands what that means or not. It was a beautiful ending to the series. The last 3 or 4 minutes of the show were complete silent. It was basically just the music. There was obviously the breathing of Vader you could hear and some of the other sound effects, but there was no dialogue. And I think that was a very quiet way to end the series. It didn't have to go out with a bang. It was more so, the Clone Wars was, in my opinion, was always dedicated primarily to the clones and to Ahsoka. And I think we got satisfying conclusions of their arcs at this point, because now they have to go into hiding, just like everyone else did after Order 66. And as a series finale, like I said, I really think they stuck the landing. I didn't see every episode. Again, as someone who hasn't seen every episode, to watch these 4 episodes and feel completely engrossed and completely captivated by everything I was seeing, it's a testament to how good the writing, the storytelling, the acting of the voice actors, the animation was great. The action was really exciting. Even though knowing where these characters are going to end up, it's exciting to see how they gave a sense of peril to it, even though we know the main 3, Ahsoka, Rex, and Maul, were going to survive. It was still very exciting to watch. So those are just some of my thoughts of the Clone Wars finale. Have you had a chance to see it? What did you think about it? Comment down below, please. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts about it. And are you excited for Ahsoka to appear in Mandalorian Season 2? That's been announced, and I think it's super exciting to see her in live action finally. Thanks for watching this video. The day after May the 4th, so this is technically Revenge of the 5th. Yeah, comment down below. You follow me on Twitter at DGeekWill, twitch.tv/DGeekWill. Until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and you made it all the way to the end. Aren't you special? If you did like this video, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up on the description. As well, if you click on my face right over here, you can actually subscribe to the channel for more videos. And if you've got a few minutes, why don't you check out a video or 2 that are floating on the side right here. Later.